like anything, it was just sort of a hobby that I picked up, and very quickly found that I liked the making of them more than I liked the having of them. This sort of very quickly sort of developed into a solid little side hustle, to the point where it had really capped out with my day job. It's like, I can't actually do any more than this. I just had to make some big changes, and the big corporate job had to go. It was a very difficult decision. Ultimately, it's probably the best decision, I think, that we've ever made, you know, as a family. So I've had a couple of people say to me, oh, you know, you could invest in like laser cutters or like the big die press cut machines, and then you could make stuff quicker and faster. And I was like, yeah, I could be making identical products like a factory day in and day out. I'm not interested in that. It's also not what people come to my shop for. People come because they go, I finally found someone who can make that thing that's been in my head this whole time. So we've got two projects here. I'm going to do one and you're going to do one. Primarily, I've cut them all out, I've pre-punched the holes, and I've done all the edging for us as well. Unlike working with fabrics, you need to pre-punch all the holes in the leather before you can do the stitching. You can't just jump straight in and work it through with the needles. The leather's too tough. So what I'm going to teach you now is called the saddle stitch. It's great for so many reasons. One of all, it's super duper easy. Second of all, it's pretty on both sides. Thirdly, it's super duper strong. Stitching has never gone wrong on me once.
Oh wow, okay, until today.
For this kind of stitching, we're going to put a needle on both ends of our thread, like so. And we're going to use about 4 to 5 times the length of the stitch that we are completing. So we're going to start here doing the belt loop, and we're going to begin at the second hole so we can back stitch it just to make it that little bit more secure. So you've got equal amounts of thread on both sides, and then we're just going to feed that through that side and that through the other. Give it a nice good tug, and then we're just going to sort of zigzag the needles all the way down to the end. You know you're doing it right if you have a needle coming out of either side of the same hole. Like the big one you see is people not having an even stitching tension, and if it's not the same level of tension across the length of the stitch, it goes all wobbly and unattractive and what have you. So what we can do now, clip it off nice and short, and then take some fire. And with the fire, we are just going to singe and squash down the end of the thread there. That bad boy is never coming undone. The needle on the same side that it has come out of is going to go in through the next hole.
Through the end hole?
Through the end hole. And out the other side. Now take the other needle. And put that one through the first hole as well. Be careful not to pierce the thread. Then once you've got them both sort of through, grab both of them and give them a good tug. And it's funny because when we do the workshop classes and, you know, the day begins, we're doing all the cutting out and the hole punching, and everyone's having a really great time. There's lots of chattering and stuff. But when we get to the stitching part, they all go really quiet because they're trying to focus so hard on making sure they don't mess it up.
Well, so I go through and then go back through the same one, or do I do that other one first?
Hey? Oh, look, mindfulness, it's one of those words that I think sadly has become much more of a buzzword than anything else, and people use it to sell soap and dream catchers. But what I've always considered it, being present and paying attention to what you're doing right in that moment. So if I'm doing leather, I'm doing the leather. If I'm taking the dog for a walk, I'm taking the dog for a walk. I'm not planning out my day coming ahead. When you watch some of the YouTube stuff, they kind of give you the impression that you need to go and spend quite a lot of money on the equipment and the setup, but you don't. When I started doing this stuff, all I had was a ruler, like a box cutter knife, and the stitching oil, and that was it. And so I always tell people, don't just go and rush out and buy one of those big 30, 40 piece toolkits. Start doing the work until you find a tool that you need, and then go and get that tool. Because otherwise you just end up with a drawer of stuff that you don't know what to do with.
What am I doing?
Oh, what are you doing? Nice work, mate. No, you've done it. You've done it. What's going to happen now is we're just going to run up either side of this pouch. I've been doing a slightly different one here, which we call a cross stitch. And now this serves a different function than the saddle stitch.
Is distressed?
No. So the saddle stitch is when you are stitching one piece of leather over the top of another. Cross stitch is when you're meeting them edge to edge. To be able to make money doing what you're passionate about is one of those things that not a lot of people are in the position to do. So I'm very, very fortunate. It's gotten to the point now where I always make sure that there is, at some point in the house, a piece of stitching. That any given moment I can just pick up, do some stitching for.
Yeah. Busy hands.
Busy hands. Well, this, the stitching is something you can actually just do a minute of and put it down, and it's not going to suffer any. And it's funny too, because I remember the last time we went on our holiday, both the wife and my son independently came up to me and said, "So you're bringing some stitching with you, Daddy?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm bringing some stitching with me. Don't worry." Well, we've had a lot of interesting stuff in that regard in terms of like classic gender locking and stuff, because I also do a lot of the cooking at home, as I do like 90% of the cooking. So he's sort of like, for a long while when he was literally right, Daddy, you got to go do kitchen. It's like, it's Daddy's job. Daddy does the kitchen. So there's a LARP crowd in Melbourne that I go to every Friday night. When I went there, I started, getting in and playing it a lot of times. Like, this is really fun. I see why this is so popular. So I made myself a bunch of the gear, but now I keep selling it all because people are like, "Let's go, hey, have this one, I'll make more." And there'll be other people coming. They'll bring new people over and they go, "This is our guy. This is our leather guy. You need some stuff made up. Like, he'll sort you out."
What would you pick if you needed?
Oh, if I had a guy, I'd love a tailor.
Oh,
that'd be nice.
That would be good.
If I had a tailor, that'd be good.
Oh man, I was thinking someone just like cheese. Has there been any challenges in making the business?
That change in turning into an actual business, and the amount of like social media management and additional sort of like paperwork and spreadsheeting and all this kind of stuff. I spend so much time just talking to the customers too. I reckon it's probably about a third of my work time is spent in conversation with people.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because they say, "I want this," and you go, "Okay, well, let's talk about the 8,000 details." I spent probably maybe like a year and a half really fumbling through all that stuff before I really got into a groove on it.
Yeah.
Because you look at these items and you go, "These are fabulous." Like, surely just rookies like me can't do this. But once you make a couple of them and you learn the skills, you go, "Oh, I can do this. This isn't so bad." And for the most part, you're using the same skills you use on the other projects. You're just doing them in different shapes. Oh, it looks like you can stand to pull those a bit tighter though. At the top here, these look a bit lax. Unbelievable. Here, I thought you were paying attention.
Yeah.
And look at this. Look at this.
Oh.
People always love having something to do with their hands.
Yeah.
Whether it's playing an instrument, cooking, crafting, building Legos, whatever it is, people respond really well to using their hands.
Why do you think that is?
Do you know, I don't know why that is. Must be just some sort of lizard brain, caveman throwback. I think A, mental health is very important. B, we're starting to get a lot more people speaking up now about men's mental health in particular. And, I've been through the dark end of the mental health, and so it's really important for people to talk about it, have strategies for dealing with it, all the rest of it.